Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to be posting this a little bit early this week because I have some stuff going on tonight, but I just want you guys to know that I just continue to pray for you. I continue to pray for the words that go out. So let's go ahead. This week's Torah portion is called Va'era. It means I appeared. And we're going to be reading from Exodus chapter 6, verse 2 through chapter 9, verse 35, which is on page 62 in the scripture. You know, I always use the scripture. Then we'll go to Ezekiel chapter 28, verses 25 through chapter 29, verse 21. It starts on 558. And then we'll go into Revelation chapter 16, verses 1 through 7. So let's go ahead and get started in Exodus chapter 6. And Elohim spoke to Moshe and said to him, I am Yahweh, and I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as El Shaddai, and by my name, Yahweh, I was not known to them. And I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojourning in which they have sojourned. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Mitzrites were enslaving, and have remembered my covenant. Say therefore to the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I shall bring you out from under the burden of your Mitzrites, and shall deliver you from their enslaving, and shall redeem you with an outstretched arm, and with great judgments. And I shall take you as my people, and I shall be your Elohim, and you shall know that I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who is bringing you out from under the burdens of the Mitzrites. And I shall bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give it to you as an inheritance. I am Yahweh. And Moshe spoke thus to the children of Israel, but they did not listen to Moshe, because of shortness of spirit and from hard slavery. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Go in, speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to let the children of Israel go out of this land. And Moshe spoke before Yahweh, saying, The children of Israel have not listened to me. And why would Pharaoh listen to me? For I am of uncircumcised lips. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and said to Aharon, And give them a command for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim. These are the heads of their fathers' houses, the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok and Palu, Hetzron and Carmi. These are the clans of Reuben. And the sons of Shimon, Yemuel and Yamin and Hadad and Yakin and Zorah and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These were the clans of Shimon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations: Gershon and Kohath and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137. The sons of Gershon, Libni and Shimi, according to their clans. And the sons of Kohath, Amram and Yitzhar and Hebron and Uziel. And the years of the life of Kohath were 133. And the sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. These are the clans of Levi, according to their generations. And Amram took for himself Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife, And she bore him Aharon and Moshe. And the years of the life of Amram were 137. And the sons of Yitzhar, Korah, and Nepheg, and Zikri, and the sons of Uziel, Mishael, and Etzphathat, and Sitri. Aharon took for himself Elishba, daughter of Amminadab, sister of Nahshon, as wife, and bore him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. And the sons of Korah, Issar, Elkanah, and Nebiasaph. These were the clans of the Korahites. And Eleazar, Aharon's son, took for himself one of the daughters of Putiel as wife, and she bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites according to their clans. This is Aharon and Moshe, to whom Yahweh said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Mitzrayim, according to their divisions. They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to bring out the children of Israel from Mitzrayim. This is Moshe and Aharon. And it came to be on the day when Yahweh spoke to Moshe in the land of Mitzrayim, that Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, I am Yahweh. Speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, all that I say to you. And Moshe said before Yahweh, See, I am uncircumcised lips, and why would Pharaoh listen to me? So Yahweh said to Moshe, See, I have made you an Elohim to Pharaoh, and Aharon your brother is your prophet. And you shall speak all that I command you, and Aharon your brother shall speak to Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go out of this land. But I am going to harden the hearts of Pharaoh, and shall increase my signs and my wonders in the land of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh is not going to listen to you, and I shall lay my hand on Mitzrayim, and bring my divisions and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Mitzrayim by great judgments. And the Mitzrites shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch out my hand on Mitzrayim, and I shall bring the children of Israel out from among them. And Moshe and Aharon did as Yahweh commanded them, so they did. Now Moshe was 80 years old, and Aharon 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aharon, saying, When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, Show a miracle for yourselves, then you shall say to Aharon, Take your rod and throw it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent. So Moshe and Aharon went in to Pharaoh, and they did so, and as Yahweh commanded. And Aharon threw his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. But Pharaoh also called the wise men and the practicers of witchcraft, and they, the magicians of Mitzrayim, also did so with their magic. And they, each one, threw down his rod, and they became serpents. But the rod of Aharon swallowed up their rods. And Pharaoh's heart was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said to Moshe, The heart of Pharaoh is hard. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning, as he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the river's banks to meet him, and take in your hand the rod which is turned into a serpent. And you shall say to him, Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Let my people go, so that they serve me in the wilderness. But see, until now you have not listened. Thus said Yahweh, By this you know that I am Yahweh. See, I am striking the waters which are in the river with the rod that is in my hand, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Mitzrites shall find it impossible to drink water of the river. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, say to Aharon, take your rod and stretch out your hand over the water of Mitzrayim, over their streams, over their rivers, over their ponds, and over their pools of water, that they become blood. And there shall be blood in the land of Mitzrayim, both in wooden and in stone containers. And Moshe and Aharon did so as Yahweh commanded, and he lifted up the rod and struck the waters that were in the river, in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that were in the river died, and the river stank, and the Mitzrites were unable to drink the water of the river. And the blood was in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians of Mitzrayim did the same with their magic. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and his heart was not moved by this either. And all the Mitzrites dug all around the river for water to drink, for they were unable to drink the water of the river. And 7 days were completed after Yahweh had struck the river. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, go to Pharaoh and say to him, thus says Yahweh, let my people go so that they serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, see, I am smiting all your border with frogs, and the river shall swarm with frogs, which go up and shall come into your house and into your bedrooms and onto your bed and into the houses of your servants and on your people and into your ovens and into your kneading bowls. And the frogs shall come up on you and on your people and on all your servants. And Yahweh said to Moshe, say to Aharon, stretch out your hand with your rod over the streams, over the rivers, over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up on the land of Mitzrayim. So Aharon stretched out his hand over the waters of Mitzrayim, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did so with their magic and brought up frogs on the land of Mitzrayim. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aharon and said, pray to Yahweh to take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I shall let the people go to slaughter to Yahweh. And Moshe said to Pharaoh, explain yourself to me. When am I to pray for you? Excuse me. When am I to pray for you and for your servants and for your people to destroy the frogs from you and from your house and remain only in the river? And he said, tomorrow. And he said, let it be done according to your word, so that you know that there is no one like Yahweh our Elohim. And the frogs shall turn aside from you, and from your houses, and from your servants, and from your people. They shall remain only in the river. And Moshe and Aharon went out from Pharaoh, and Moshe cried out to Yahweh concerning the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moshe. And the frogs died out of the houses, and out of the courtyards, out of the fields, and they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stunk. And when Pharaoh saw that there was relief, he hardened his heart and did not listen to them as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said to Moshe, say to Aharon, stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the land so that it becomes gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. And they did so. And Aharon stretched out his hand with his rod and struck the dust of the earth, and it became gnats on men and beasts. And the dust of the land became gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did similarly with the magic to bring forth gnats, but they were unable. And there were gnats on men and beasts. The magicians then said to Pharaoh, "This is the finger of Elohim." But the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh as he comes out to the water, and say to him, 'Thus says Yahweh, let my people go so that they may serve me. Or else, if you do not let my people go, see, I am sending swarms of flies on you and on your servants, and on your people, and into your houses, and the houses of the Mitzrites shall be filled with swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. And in that day I shall separate the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, so that you know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the land. And I shall put a ransom between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall be.' And Yahweh did so. With thick swarms of flies came into the houses of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses and into all the land of Mitzrayim, and the land was ruined because of the swarms of flies. Pharaoh then called to Moshe and Aharon and said, 'Go, slaughter to your Elohim in the land.' And Moshe said, 'It is not right to do so, for we would be slaughtering the abomination of the Mitzrites to Yahweh our Elohim. See, if we slaughter the abomination of the Mitzrites before their eyes, would they not stone us? Let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness. Then we shall slaughter to Yahweh our Elohim as he commands us.' And Pharaoh said, 'I am letting you go. Then you shall slaughter to Yahweh your Elohim in the wilderness. Only do not go very far away. Pray for me.' And Moshe said, 'See, when I leave you, I shall pray to Yahweh. And tomorrow the swarms of flies shall depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. But do not let Pharaoh again deceive, not to let the people go to slaughter to Yahweh.' And Moshe went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yahweh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moshe, and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time too, and did not let the people go. And Yahweh said to Moshe, 'Go into Pharaoh and speak to him. Thus says Yahweh, Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go, so that they serve me. For if you refuse to let them go, and you are still holding them, see, the hand of Yahweh is on your livestock in the field, on your horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the cattle, on the sheep, a very grievous pestilence. And Yahweh shall separate them between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Mitzrayim, and let no matter die of all that belongs to the children of Israel.' And Yahweh set an appointed time, saying, 'Tomorrow Yahweh is going to do this word in the land.' And Yahweh did this word on the next day, and all the livestock of Mitzrayim died, but the livestock of the children of Israel did not die. Not one. Then Pharaoh sent, and see, not even one of the livestock of Israel was dead, but the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. And Yahweh said to Moshe and Aharon, Fill your hands with ashes from the furnace, and let Moshe scatter it toward the heavens before the eyes of Pharaoh. And it shall become fine dust in all the land of Mitzrayim, and it shall cause boils that break out in sores on man and beast in the land of Mitzrayim. So they took the ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moshe scattered them toward the heavens. And they caused boils breaking out in sores on men and beast. The magicians were unable to stand before Moshe because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all the Mitzrites. But Yahweh strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said to Moshe. And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh, and say to him, 'Thus says Yahweh, Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go so that they may serve me. For at this time I am sending all my plagues into your hearts and on your servants and on your people, so that they know that there is no one like me in all the earth. Now, if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, then you would have been cut off from the earth. And for this reason, I have raised you up in order to show you." Oh, sorry, I had to turn the page. "In order to show you my power, and in order to declare my name in all the earth. You shall exalt yourself against my people, in that you did not let them go. See, tomorrow, about this time, I am causing a very heavy hail to rain down, such has not been seen in Mitzrayim from the day of its founding until now. And now bring your livestock to safety and all that you have in the field, for the hail shall come down on every man and on every beast which is found in the field and is not brought home, and they shall die. Those among the servants of Pharaoh who feared the word of Yahweh made their servants and livestock flee to their houses. But those who did not set their hearts on the word of Yahweh left their servants and livestock in the field. Then Yahweh said to Moshe, 'Stretch out your hand toward the heavens and let there be hail in the land of Mitzrayim, on man, on beast, and on every plant in the field, therefore the land of Mitzrayim.' Then Moshe stretched out his rod toward the heavens, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail and fire. It came down to the earth, and Yahweh rained hail on the land of Mitzrayim. Thus there came to be hail and fire flashing continually in the midst of the hail, a very heavy, such as had not been in all the land of Mitzrayim since it became a nation. And the hail struck in all the land of Mitzrayim, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail struck every plant of the field and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail. Pharaoh then sent and called for Moshe and for Aaron and said to them, 'I have sinned this time. Yahweh is righteous, and my people and I are wrong. Pray to Yahweh, for there has been enough of the thunder and hail of Elohim, and I am letting you go so that you stay no longer.' And Moshe said to him, 'As soon as I go out of the city, let me spread out my hands to Yahweh. Let the thunder cease and the hail be no more, so that you know that the earth belongs to Yahweh. But as for you and your servants, I know that you do not yet fear Yahweh, Elohim.' And the flax and the barley were struck, for the barley was in head and the flax was in bud. But the wheat and the smelt were not struck, for they were late crops. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread out his hands to Yahweh, and the thunder and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured on the earth. And Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased. Yet he sinned again, and he hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Yahweh had said through Moshe. Gosh, there is so much in all of this that just touches my heart. You know, everything that Yahweh did to Mitzrayim, he told them ahead of time he was going to do. Every bit of it. Moshe knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened. And he tells us the path that we're walking if we listen. But we have to have an open heart. If we harden our heart like Pharaoh did, you know, Hasatan comes in behind everything that we see and perverts it, just like he did here. All the signs that Yahweh sent, that the Mitzrites, the magicians came in and they just duplicated it. They copied it to throw off the wonders of Yah. I mean, he gives us so much and he walks us through it all. And by the end here, you see, Moshe was building confidence through all of this, through all of going before Moshe and standing and doing these wonders and these mighty works. By the end, Moshe was doing them. He wasn't having to rely on Aaron to do it for him. He was able to stand in strength on his own. Just like Yahweh gives us that strength too, to build our courage. He builds us slowly in all of the things that we do and all of the things that we're coming out of and all of the stress and the strain and the doubt. He builds us step by step by step, that we're able to go further and further in what he has for us, so that we can walk in the steps that he gives us and not rely on other people to do it for us, because it's not up to other people to walk our walk. It's up to us to do it. But he guides us every step of the way, and he gives us encouragement, and he gives us strength, and he builds us up because he loves us, and he wants what's best for us, and he wants what's best for all of his people. And us stepping forward, all that does is just build not only us, but it builds up those around us, those that are watching us when we don't think they're watching, but people are. And it just encourages us so much more when we're able to go to him, and when we realize the steps that we're taking that we never thought we'd be able to. You know, just like a baby when they first start walking, they're holding on to everything, and you can almost see the shock in their face when they take that first step all by themselves. And I'm sure that's the same way he looks at us when we start taking those steps by ourselves. You know, the shock on our face that, wow, I really did this. And it's just, it just builds so much in your heart. just your love for him, just knowing his love for you. But let's go ahead and go on. Our next verses are in Ezekiel, chapter 28. It's going to be on page 558, and we're going to start in verse 25, and we're going to go through to the end of chapter 29. Thus said the Master Yahweh, when I have gathered the house of Israel from the peoples among whom they were scattered, I shall be set apart in them before the eyes of the nations, and they shall dwell in their own land, which I gave to my servant Jacob. And they shall dwell safely, and build houses, and plant vineyards, and dwell safely, when I execute judgments on all those around them who despise them. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, their Elohim. And in the 10th year, in the 10th month, on the 12th of the new moon, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Pharaoh, the sovereign of Mitzrayim, and prophesy against him and against Mitzrayim, all of it. Speak, and you shall say, Thus says the Master Yahweh, See, I am against you, O Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, O great monster who lies in the midst of his rivers. Who has said, My river is my own, and I have made it for myself. And I shall put hooks in your jaws, and I shall make the fish of your rivers cling to your scales. And I shall bring you out of the midst of the rivers, and all the fish in your rivers cling to your scales. And I shall leave you in the wilderness, you and all the fish of your rivers. On the face of the field you shall fall, and you shall not be picked up or gathered. I shall give you as food to the beasts of the fields and to the birds of the heavens. And all the inhabitants of Mitzrayim shall know that I am Yahweh, because they have been a staff of reed in the house of Israel. When they grasped you with the hand, you broke and tore all their shoulders. When they leaned on you, you broke and made all their loins shake. Sorry. Therefore they said, the Master Yahweh, See, I am bringing a sword upon you, and shall cut off from you man and beast. And the land of Mitzrayim shall become a desert and a waste. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, because he said, The river is mine, and I have made it. Therefore, see, I am against you and against your rivers, and shall make the land of Mitzrayim an utter waste, and the desert from the Migdal to Shwaneth, as far as the border of Cush. No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited for 40 years. And I shall make the land of Mitzrayim a desert in the midst of the lands that are waste, and among the cities that are ruined. Her cities shall be a waste 40 years. And I shall scatter the Mitzrites among the nations, and I shall disperse them throughout the lands. And thus said the Master Yahweh, At the end of 40 years, I shall gather the Mitzrites from their people among whom they were scattered, and they shall turn back the captivity of the Mitzrites, and I shall bring them back to the land of Pathros, to the land of their birth, and there they shall be a lowly reign, being the lowest of reigns, and never again exalted above the nations. And I shall make them few, so as not to rule over the nations. And no longer is it to be a refuge of the house of Israel, bringing to remembrance their crookedness when they turned to follow them. and they shall know that I am the Master Yahweh. And it came to be in the 27th year, on the first month, on the first of the new moon, that the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, made his army to serve a great service against Zoar. Every head was made bald and every shoulder worn bare. And he and his army received no reward from Zoar for the service he served against it. Therefore he said to the Master Yahweh, See, I am giving the land of Mitzrayim to Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and he shall take away her wealth, take her spoil, and remove her spillage. And it shall be a reward for his army. I have given him the land of Mitzrayim as a reward for his labor, because they worked for me, declares the Master Yahweh. In that day I shall make the horn of the house of Israel to spring forth, while I open your mouth to speak in their midst, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Now, after that, of course, we're going to the book of Revelation, which seems very fitting after that. We're going to go to chapter 16. We're going to read verses 1 through 7. And that's going to be, on page 1210. And I heard a loud voice from the dwelling place saying to the 7 messengers, Go and pour out the bowls of the wrath of Elohim on the earth. And the first went out and poured out his bowl upon the earth, and an evil and a wicked sore came upon the men those having the mark of the beast, and those worshiping his image. And the second messenger poured out his bowl on the sea, and it became blood as of a dead one, and every living creature in the sea died. And the third messenger poured out his bowl on the rivers and on the fountains of water, and they became blood. And I heard the messenger of the waters saying, You are righteous, O Yahweh, the one who is and who was and who shall be, because you have judged these. Because they have shed the blood of set-apart ones and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink, for they deserve it. And I heard another out of the slaughter place saying, Yes, Yahweh, El Shaddai, true and righteous are your judgments. And that is the end of this week's Torah portion. I pray you all have a blessed Shabbat, a wonderful week. And I pray that you just reach out to the Father, take his hand, and let him lead your path. Shabbat Shalom.